Today, we're going to talk through the population and print runs of serial numbered cards and why, the print runs for those might indicate that your card is actually not as rare or as scarce as you think it is. There's a lot to talk to on this one. We're going to use Lebron James as a case study from 2021 Prizm and how, maybe things need to be a bit more targeted when it comes to cards you want to place value on or cards you want to invest in. We're going to talk to each of those things and you can sort of see the chapters down below that has, the detail for today's video. Now, like I said, if you look at 2021 Prizm, LeBron James, and you hit an out of 99 or you were to buy an out of 99 to flip or to, keep for your PC, the thing I want you guys to keep front of mind with this is, yes, that out of 99 is pretty cool, but when you're looking to buy that card or place a premium on that card or you're thinking that card is actually much more scarcer than what it actually is, you need to look at the rest of the print run or the checklist for that year of release, right? So if you look at 2021 Prizm, like I just said, that out of 99, you need to then sum up all the cards in that set that are 99 or less. And for 2021 Prizm, fast break choice, and then just Prizm itself, for LeBron James, there is 831 cards numbered to 99 or less in that set, just for LeBron James for 1 year. So when you're going to place a value on it, you need to be keeping that stuff, front of mind. Those numbers get a little bit more alarming if you factor in like Optic for 2021. That's another 600 to 700 cards, 99 or less in Optic. So that takes it to 1,500 across two products for one player. 1,500 cards now that are rarer, or at least as rare than that 99 that you just hit yourself in that set. So when you're looking to, place value on it or you're looking to pay a premium for it, please keep that stuff, front of mind. It gets quite frustrating when you've got, content creators out there that will talk to this stuff in card show vlogs and things like that, and they'll talk to why you should be chasing, out of 99s. And yes, they are cool. I'm not trying to downplay them at all, but you need to look at it through the bigger picture, the bigger lens, because when you've got a player like LeBron James that's played for 21 years now, whatever it is, and he's been in every set of, Select and Prizm and Optic, just those three sets, numbers to 99 or less, you're looking at maybe 10,000 across the last 10 or 11 years since those products were in inception. 10, 15, 20,000 cards numbered to 99 or less, just for one player. So when you're looking to buy that card, it's not as scarce or as rare as you think it is. So please, I guess my message with this video is keep that stuff front of mind, because that stuff might not maintain its value long term once people sort of realize, well, actually, there's a lot more of these than what I thought. It's not just out of 99. That's a trick, a scam from these, manufacturers to trick you into thinking you've got something really cool that you also then want to pay big dollars for. I'm not trying to hate on it in any way, shape, or form, but you just need to be a bit more switched on when it comes to chasing these cards, because again, the problem gets even more exacerbated when you look at, Don Russ and Hoops from the same year. If you factor in those into the numbers, we just touched on this 1,500 across 2021 Prizm and Optic for LeBron James out of 99 or less. You look at out of 49s for Don Russ and Hoops, that's probably another 500 or so cards in there. You're talking like upwards of, 5 to 10,000 cards per player per year across all the relevant sets out of 99 or less. Like, that stuff adds up pretty quickly, let alone looking at it for that player's entire freaking career. They're playing for every single year that a product was released, as an example, like with LeBron James. That stuff gets pretty crazy. So then how do you, as a collector and investor, get through this, right? How do you find the ones that are actually relevant? And a key thing for mine that's always been something I've talked about, I did a video on this maybe 12 months ago. Not a whole lot of people watched it, to be honest, but it was speaking about why I think these print runs scare me and why you should be targeting things that have more meaning, that can give collectors a bit more excitement when it comes to scarcity, because collectors want to chase the things that are actually rare. So when you're talking about LeBron James having, potentially 5,000 cards out of 99 or less in just 2021 alone, how do you find the ones that are relevant? Well, my perspective is to chase things like championship winning seasons. I like to get low serial numbered cards from years that my team or my players won their championship. So I've talked to a rainbow I'm working on for 2020 Euro Soccer. It's things like this, right, where they won the championship that year. So I'm chasing this card because I think as a collector, something like that might be more valuable long term, even though value doesn't really mean much to me as a collector. But that's the gist of what I'm trying to get at. So if we go back to LeBron James and you want to get a gold Prizm of LeBron, Prizm's been around since 2012. It's 11, 12 years. There's one base gold Prizm in every single set. That's at least 110 cards. But if we do a similar analysis like we just did for 2021 Prizm, we go back to it, there's actually 64 cards numbered to 10 or less in 2021 Prizm for LeBron James. If you go to 2020, it's another 50 odd. Now, if you include the inserts for both of those years, you basically double that number. So you're looking at around 200 cards that are either numbered out of 10 or less, so gold or less, like rarer than the gold, in just those 2 years. Then you look at all those years of Prizm, there's probably upwards of 500 to 1,000 cards numbered to 10 or less for LeBron James. So how do you work out which ones are going to be relevant? How do you work out the scarcity? How do you actually keep getting away with talking to these things actually being, you know, much rarer than what they actually are. It's not just out of 10, it's now out of 1,000. And I really wish people, you know, thought about that a little bit more, because I hate seeing these vlogs. I hate seeing these people talk to these things as being much rarer than what they actually are. I feel like people often get, you know, taken advantage of and get left holding the bag, right? They've been influenced based on what some influential people have talked to in this hobby, card show vloggers, you know, some of these big accounts where they talk to the things you should be chasing. They get left holding the bag, having paid, you know, thousands of dollars for a card that's out of 99, for a card that's out of 10, when in reality, if you're looking at the wider population, it's actually probably not worth that much, because there are so many more cards that actually exist than just being out of 10. I'm repeating myself now, but you guys get the point. It gets quite frustrating when you're seeing these people push narratives around what cards are actually rare and what's actually scarce. I'm talking to this because I want more people to get educated. I want more people to be aware of, you know, what they're spending their money on. You're still free to choose and buy whatever you want, but that's why it goes to, you know, the things I talked to earlier. You need to be a bit more targeted when it comes to finding cards that are actually going to be valuable long term, at least in my opinion, because these print runs are pretty crazy. Now, like I said at the start, and like I alluded to with my soccer cards, you need to be more targeted with what you're chasing in order for the ones to be relevant long term, or to find the ones that are going to be relevant long term, I should say. It's going to be championship winning seasons, like I touched on. It's going to be, you know, cards that have deeper meaning, i.e. did they break, you know, a point scoring record that year? Are they wearing a unique jersey? Did something unique happen in that game that's pictured? All these kinds of things I think are going to come to the surface eventually when people sort of realize, well, actually, all these cards that I've bought of LeBron James, again, as our example, don't actually mean anything, because over the course of his career, he's got 10, 20, maybe even 30,000 lower serial numbered cards than the one I've just purchased. So when people sort of wise up to that, what are they going to do? I can't imagine they're still going to be paying premiums for those. Now, again, I'm not putting this video out there to sort of, you know, crap on people for getting excited about this stuff, or crap on people for chasing it. It's more so for education, right? Just be across what these pop reports actually look like for these serial numbered cards. Be across what these numbers actually are, because chances are a lot of these are not as rare as you think they are, and significantly not as rare as you think they are. Just be more targeted with what it is you're trying to chase. Be more lenient when it comes to putting big money on some of these things, right? Spending big money, because eventually people are going to realize that these things maybe aren't as rare as what they actually are. It sort of goes to the pop reports that people talk on, either for raw cards or for graded cards, and they'll say things are pop 1, pop 10, pop 20, which is going to be a video for me that I put out, you know, later on this week, because there's a lot of talking points similar to what we discussed today that will be flagged in that one. But they do that without looking at, you know, the bigger picture. And you know, it's going to be one of those things that I've touched on a few times, and I keep repeating myself, that people will catch on eventually to this and very quickly realize that they've paid maybe too much of a premium for a card that maybe isn't as rare as what they actually thought it was. So yeah, that's a lot I just touched on. I hope it all made sense, to be honest. But again, if I missed anything, let me know. I just find the whole thing, you know, pretty crazy when you're looking at that kind of volume for just 1 year in one product, not including some other high-end things as well. It's just, there are so many cards being printed on a daily basis. There are so many serial numbered cards. They add more every single year. They add more products every single year. They add more iterations of products. You have, you know, Team All stuff. You have retail. You got all these fast break stuff, all these choice stuff. Like it's never ending. They're constantly adding more, which, you know, it waters down the actual rarity and the scarcity of these things that we want to chase and we want to cherish long term. People will realize eventually. People will focus in on certain things that are more valuable than others. I'm just saying, please don't get caught out paying big money for some of these cards that are not as rare as you think they are. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. If you want me to do a bit more of a deep dive on this and showing you, you know, proper numbers and things like that, we can maybe do this for, you know, another player and talk to it a little bit more. But I just thought this was a pretty quick one, an interesting one to talk to. So I'm really keen, like I said, to get your thoughts on this, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.